In today's video, I want to share an exercise that I think is incredibly important for photographers, especially if you're somebody who's trying to pursue commission projects, editorial projects, or commercial photo projects. And I'm no expert, but I got this advice from a very established photographer. I know for me personally, it's very easy to imagine kind of my dream project out there that I would love to shoot, whether it's a dream commission for a newspaper or it's my dream commercial project. I think it's really easy to think about where you could do well or what you'd love to be shooting. And I think this exercise, which my friend Wesley a long time ago referred to as a self-assignment, is incredibly helpful maybe in getting to that place. A self-assignment is exactly what it sounds like. It is you commissioning yourself for a project as a way to build out your portfolio. And I want to share these as a way of just sharing the process that I'm going through of expanding my portfolio and maybe trying to get hired in the future for some new projects. How is this any different from just going out and taking pictures like maybe you are already normally doing? I think a self-assignment is more focused on a very specific topic, something very niche that you go out and pursue. It's a small story. It's not just wandering and observing what you see. It's focusing in on a single story and trying to make something out of it. I think it's a great excuse to, first of all, just get out and take pictures, but also to develop your style, to explore a new topic, and of course to make some new work that you can show in a portfolio, pitch to different people who might be in a position to hire you. So in this video, I want to share a project that I assigned myself this year and that I think I got some really interesting photos out of that I was able to add to my portfolio. And that assignment was to photograph the plant nurseries of Los Angeles, and specifically the plant nurseries that live under the power lines in Los Angeles. I came across what I thought was kind of an interesting phenomenon just driving around the city, and I would see these huge power lines. They're these towers that are massive, and under them, a lot of the time, I noticed these beautiful green spaces. And to me, it was such an interesting phenomenon because it's these very industrial spaces under these power lines that you would think typically go unused or maybe even become unmaintained. And generally, these kind of industrial spaces just aren't places of like beauty. But instead, here in the city, you find these gorgeous plant nurseries under there that are filled with the most beautiful plants and flowers that you can go and buy. You can go and enjoy them. They're community spaces. And I just thought it was this really interesting dynamic between these industrial spaces that typically would go completely unused and trashed. And instead, it's just this beautiful oasis of plants and nature. And so I started doing some research on the history, and the only real news coverage that I could find was an LA Times article that dated way back, and it was about this kind of relationship between Edison, the power company, and these plant nurseries. There were no images, and I really couldn't find any photo-based story about this narrative, and that got me really interested because between finding a lot of nice history on these places and then also just seeing that there wasn't a lot of photos documenting this relationship, it felt like a good thing to pursue. So I spent a week going around Los Angeles and photographing a ton of these nurseries. Freaking pouring rain out. Sometimes I would call ahead, tell them I was coming to take photos. Sometimes I would just walk in, try and find the manager, the owner, and ask them for permission. I spent that week going during rain, sunshine, overcast weather, meeting a ton of people in that community, talking to the owners of these nurseries, finding out more about this relationship, and I really loved the images that I came back with. I've always loved greenhouses, I've always loved plants in my photos, and now to be able to photograph this kind of plant nursery situation with a little bit more narrative and more purpose was really meaningful to me. So I had a lot of fun pursuing this for a whole week. I was focusing on the light in these places, I was focusing on this relationship between these huge power lines and these beautiful, delicate pieces of nature right under them. I was also very fortunate to meet a lot of the owners and be able to photograph them in these spaces. It was an incredibly meaningful week for me. I met so many amazing people. At the nurseries I was going to, they gifted me plants because they were so excited about somebody coming by and seeing their love for these little spaces that they developed. And it was the most beautiful thing, and I had a lot of fun. I think the photos show it, and now I have this lovely little portfolio that I can send to people who are commissioning projects, who maybe want a story about something environmental or about farming, agriculture, plants, nature. I still plan to print this whole project. These are just film scans that you're seeing, but I just wanted to share this because it was an amazing process and I really enjoyed it. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to share this fun little project with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the images. Thank you so much for watching. And finally, I want to say thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is an incredible all-in-one website building platform that you can use to build your photography portfolio online. I've been using Squarespace for so many years now, and they've made it so easy to get a website up and running with my photography. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can hit the link in my description for a 14-day free trial of Squarespace. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Willem for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. I'll see you guys next week with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.